Hey there, badass. How about a break from those endless emails, client calls, and screen time? Yep, shut down that laptop, set your notifications on silent, and come join us at the Ladies Kickin Ass networking and community event, Sip, Sass, and Kickin Ass. It's November 16th, which is a Thursday, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Forum Lounge in Chandler, Arizona. Come mingle face to face with a bunch of amazing boss babes in service based businesses from around the valley. You can make genuine connections over cocktails. Yes, please sign me up. All the information for this fun event is in the show notes, along with a link for you to grab your free, yeah, I said free, ticket to come to this event. We cannot wait to see your beautiful faces at the event. Welcome to the Ladies Kickin Ass podcast, where we raise our voices and honor the badass achievements of women in the service industry. Get ready for empowering conversations, inspiring stories, and a whole lot of ass-kicking energy. Join us as we redefine what it means to be bold, fearless, and unapologetically YOU, babe. This is your platform, your community, and your source of inspiration. So buckle up, get ready to rock and roll, and let's show this world just how much we can accomplish. Welcome to the Ladies Kickin Ass podcast. Hey ladies, welcome back to another episode of Ladies Kickin Ass. I'm so excited for today's conversation. We were just talking off camera before we hit record on this, and I know this is going to be a great conversation because it's been many conversations that I've been having with women lately around the topic of health. And I just have this crazy passion, and I keep finding all of these wonderfully educated women that can talk to us about different angles of health. I think it is so important that as women, we don't just look at health as what our body looks like, but really understanding that health has a lot to do with our mindset. Health has a lot to do with exercise and nutrition and the thoughts that we put in our head and the shit we consume every day as far as media and what we're listening to. And if you listen to CNN and you're like, I'm so stressed all the time. Well, no shit. Like, you have to stop taking all of this stuff in. So my guest today is Katie Allaby, and she is a registered nurse who has turned her firsthand experience in witnessing the impact of lifestyle choices into a mission to inspire change. And I'm going to let Katie tell you all about her backstory with that. But what I love so much about what you're doing here is that you're taking your medical education and your information and you're breaking it down and you're making it just easy steps that women can follow, because as we were talking before we jumped on camera, women like to complicate shit and we like to blame it on everybody else, except nobody does it to us except ourselves, and we do it to each other, and it's so stupid. So we've got to break this stuff down, make it simple, one little thing every single day. Stop taking shit away and start adding good practices to your life. And that is what Katie's going to be able to give to us today. So Katie, thank you so much for being on the Ladies Kickin Ass podcast. Why don't you give us a little bit about your backstory, how you got to where you're at today, and why you do what you do and why you love it.
Okay, well, thank you first off for having me. I'm super excited to be on and share every little bit that I've been through. I have been raped, abused, beat, and, had to get out of an abusive alcoholic marriage while having two young daughters. They were 2 and 4 at the time. And I was a registered nurse at that point, but nurses work 12 to 14 hours a day, and then not having somebody to watch my daughters, I had to come up with something else to be able to support myself and to support my daughters. Either that or stay in a toxic environment. So I made the leap of faith in myself and whatever it is up above to make this choice to make a better life for myself and for my children. And I just hit the ground running. I had nothing. I was against the wall. I was in debt up to my ears. My car had got repossessed. Like, you name it, I got it all done. And I had been working at the hospital and within the surgical ICU unit where these patients come in and get open heart surgery, liver transplants, and other ailments, basically with the major organs, your heart and liver. And they were just getting band-aids put on. These people were coming in morbidly obese. They were coming in with, addiction problems. They were coming in with other mental health disorders. And the healthcare system was doing was just putting a band-aid on them. And then it was a revolving door. And I looked at it and I'm like, there has to be a better way. There has to be something better. And I got this one patient, God bless her soul. She didn't make it, but she was morbidly obese. She had 3 bypass surgeries and she just got an open heart surgery done. And nobody ever addressed the nutrition that she was putting into her body. And the reason she was putting this nutrition into her body was because she was depressed, because she didn't feel like she was good enough. She didn't feel like she belonged anywhere. And the only comfort she could find was through McDonald's, Wendy's, something fast to just kind of fulfill that void. And she ended up her life ended up ending. And that was my pivot, like my pivotal point where I was like, it's nutrition. Nutrition is everything and every aspect of medicine that never even gets addressed. Like whatever we fuel our body with is what comes out of our pores. If we're eating McDonald's or whatever fast food, that's coming out our pores. We're gaining weight. We're then looking worse in the mirror, and then we're critiquing how we're looking in the mirror because, like you said, women, we overcomplicate everything instead of addressing the simple concept of what's going on in our head. Why are we feeling this way? Why are we not addressing what's going up here? Because what we have up here is what we put into our body. I'm sorry, I can go on forever, but it's and so that like basically led me to push myself like it's going to be hard. It was hard. It's hard every day. I struggle every day, but I know that I'm making a lasting impression even if it's just one simple habit that I'm helping people to change and to incorporate into their life. If I'm just helping them realize that incorporating more water into their diet, then I've done my job. Just keeping it simple by making simple changes.
That's so interesting that you say that about water because I was talking to my husband about this. Little backstory, my husband has lost like 75 pounds this year. He went to the doctor and they were just like, you got to do something or you're going to have a freaking heart attack. He had like high blood pressure. He has since he was in his 20s. And of course, they just tell you, oh, that shit's hereditary. It just runs in the family. So this poor guy's been on this medication forever. So he was like, I'm on a quest to get off of medication, which I know is a passion of yours. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I would watch him and he didn't do anything like super drastic craziness except like cut out sugar and cut almost all alcohol out of his diet. He was eating a lot more like berries and a lot of smoothies and stuff and just like poof. The difference even in his personality and the way that he handles stress and the way that he carries himself, obviously he looks like totally different. Just the mental things that does when you start cleaning up your diet and not having all of that shit bogging you down all the time has been such an incredible example to my family. And so it is really truly one of those. He's off of blood pressure medication. His blood pressure is like totally great now. Like it was never great when he was on the medication. So I think that this is a very interesting conversation about, do you believe that food is a really like better medication than, good or bad, than the actual drugs that you get at the pharmacy?
I do. And I think that, society has gotten to a point where like we're like, oh, we don't feel good. Let's go to the doctors. They give us medication. And then we get that medication and then it causes something else. Like for instance, like you get an antibiotic because you're sick. Then you take the antibiotic, then you get a yeast infection, now you have to take another thing. So it's like a compounded problem and the only people that are benefiting are the pharmaceutical companies because they're getting a continual influx of people coming in. Whereas if you look at whatever's going on and you change, like your husband did, and take sugar is like cocaine. It's more addicting than cocaine. So once you take that out of your diet, like your body is looking for natural sugars. So you're going to be looking for like the berries, the fruits, the even some of the vegetables will help to rebalance your body because your body is constantly looking to be in homeostasis. So if we take something away, like stop putting sugar into it, it's still going to be looking for that to have it function, as well as with water. Like if we don't replenish our water, our bodies can't function to the way that they should. And then we start to supplement with crap because we're looking to fill that void.
Sure. So if you're suggesting to people about drinking more water, because we all know that hardly any of us drink enough water of what we're supposed to drink. What is the actual recommendation of how much water you should be drinking every day?
So, just to have your body to function properly, you should take whatever your body weight is, divide it in half, and that's how much water you need just to function properly. If you want to use the water to incorporate weight loss, they say to add in another 1 to 2 cups a day. So, for instance, say you weigh 120 pounds, that means you need 60 ounces of water a day in order for your body to function properly. If you're trying to promote weight loss, then you would have, 76 to, 84 ounces a day.
Sure. When you say to promote weight loss, is that because it helps flush more things out of your body when you're drinking more water, or what does that extra water do?
So the extra water is going to flush toxins as well as it's going to give you it's so if you think about I like to use the example of like when we go to sleep. When we wake up in the morning, we all go to the bathroom. So we have just now
Mhm.
depleted our body of water. So the only way to rehydrate those cells is to flush them with water, like fill them back up. And by doing that, you're going to break down anything that doesn't need to be there so you can, pee it out. And then you're going to no, so when you drink the water, like they always say, studies have said, have a glass of water before you eat something. So have a glass of water and then have a cupcake. And I guarantee you probably won't even finish that cupcake, or will finish it and then that will be it. You won't overindulge because you have hydrated your body prior so that you're not depriving yourself of something that you're looking for.
Do you think a lot of times when we reach for food, we're really just thirsty?
Yes, I 110%.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's one of those things if you're really trying to incorporate more water in, like, I don't know, it's to be a trend at my house. We have like 9,000 like drinking cups. I'm sure everybody does anymore. And I have teenage daughters, so of course they're fascinated with their Stanleys and all their other BS cups. But the good thing, I never like give them. I like to tease them about it, but I never give them a ton of crap because they're always walking around with these cups and they're always drinking water, which we promote like crazy with our kids because it really is one of those things where if you take all the other drinks out of your house, if you're a mama and you're raising these children, and you just give them water, there's really no alternative to all the other things. And that's something that, like, we've been trying to do a lot of that with. Like, we don't buy soda at our house anymore, because maybe if there's a birthday party, you get to have a treat with that, but it's never a staple at our house to have that readily available for kids. And so I would love to be able to talk to you about as far as nutrition goes with things as moms. Like, I really think that we set the tone of the health of our families because a vast majority of the moms, even in today's world, are still cooking the meals. They're still going to the grocery store. They're still planning all this stuff. They're still packing kids' lunches or providing the food for the kids to put into their own lunches. This can also be a really difficult thing to do if you've got lots of very picky eaters. Like, I have 5 kids at my house and they're all picky as shit. So you're like, fine, just have the macaroni and cheese. I'll buy a healthier macaroni and cheese. Not that I don't even know if that exists, but they market it that way. Like, what are some of your suggestions for moms in setting a good environment for healthy nutrition for their kids?
I think the biggest thing is you have to practice what you preach. I am very much a like I struggled, when I was a teenager up until my mid 20s with eating disorders like bulimia and anorexia. And I did the diet pills because I was told I was supposed to be, I'm 5 feet tall. I'm supposed to weigh 110 pounds and I'm supposed to look like this. And so I was, caught up in that whole mindset that I needed to be a certain way. And it took me up until I had my children to learn that you have to feed your body with proper nutrition to feel and look as good as you want. So setting the tone for your children, and also taking the time to plan and have multiple snacks, quote unquote snacks, readily available. So when they come home and they're like, "Oh, I'm hungry," like, okay, there's, carrot sticks already portioned out. Like something that's easy for people to grab and go is the society that I definitely live in, because I live in Massachusetts where it's a nonstop go, go, go. But having things already preset will make children go more so for the things that are readily easily to get at. Like if you think about cookies, those are always just like in a quick thing, you just grab two turns into four, turns into the six, but they're easy to get. They're easy to get. So if we as mothers are setting things in a way so that it's just an easy grab and go, they're going to be more likely to go and grab that as opposed to grabbing, the cookies or the cupcakes, because nobody wants to cut an apple, nobody wants to cut fruit up, nobody wants to cut, veggies up or anything like that. So if it's already done for them, it creates more of the mindset of, oh, look, I'm just going to grab this because I can just eat it on the way.
Yeah. I think for women too, the conversations that we have, maybe even with our older children, I have teenage daughters. So I'm very, very cautious of the conversations that I have with them revolving one around like dieting all the time. I gotta be on a diet. I gotta be on a diet. I'm sure like when we grew up, I remember always hearing my mom say stuff like that, which was like, well, I'm not going to eat this meal because, I'm on a diet. And then I would see her and my mom literally lived on like Pepsi. And I'm like, that is not food. But like, I never grew up having, like, I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, we were never served like a green salad for dinner. Like, our vegetables were like canned green beans. Like, I remember the first time being served like steamed real green beans. And I was like, these are so good. What are these? And the person I was with looked at me and was like, they're green beans, dummy. And I was like, these aren't green beans. Because canned green beans where I was at was like, they were like almost brown. They were disgusting. And it's just, it really is a conversation around, and it's been difficult for me too. Like, I never was a salad eater until I was probably like in my mid 20s. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll try it, because I didn't grow up with any of that stuff. So it really does like leave a long term impression on people based upon what it is that you're feeding your kids. And I think for a lot of us too, like, I grew up in Wyoming, food was love there. Like, we were always baking with my grandma and doing things like that. So I have like really fond memories around those things. But how can we do that on a healthier side of things, and having kids help us prepare dinner and showing them what is healthy with things and really incorporating them into our everyday lives of preparing the stuff with them instead of just having it prepared for them? Is that something that you promote for moms to kind of do with their kids, or do you have any other tips around something like that to promote a healthy?
I definitely do. I think that creating that bond and that, healthy relationship with food is super important early on. When I first, like I had said before, like I started this journey when my kids were 2 and 4. So like the rule in my house, because it was just the three of us, it was like you can have whatever fruit or vegetable that you want anytime you want it. But if you want a cookie or something like that, you need to ask. So now, still to this day, they're 12 and 15. They don't even go for the cookie. They're looking for the fruits and vegetables because that was kind of all we had. And I taught them to always look at labels, and I tried to keep it simple. If there's anything more than 5 ingredients in a product, you don't eat it. because you're adding chemicals, you're adding other crap into your diet. And they actually just published a study in the UK, because in the United States, we are one of the only countries that actually still has a multitude of dyes in our products that we give to our children. In the UK, they are completely banned. So they don't have the same childhood medical ailments as the US does, because they have, banned all of these things in their products, and they have taught their people eat things simply, like an apple. There's nothing in it. You need something processed for you. Okay, we'll check and see how many ingredients are in there. And if you know every one of those ingredients, go ahead, eat it. But if not, you're putting chemicals into your body. Chemicals are not made to, like, we create our own chemicals to break down foods, but we don't need trisodium phosphate in our body, which is paint thinner, which is in Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, there's so many things, and the problem is that in the US we're on the go. We're just trying to go quick. So we have to kind of reprogram people's mindset and say, you know what? You grab an apple, you're going to be full longer than if you're going to go to, McDonald's or whatever, and you're feeding your body the nutrients that it needs to process things better, and you're going to promote better, like, things come in your mouth should go out your bottom, like, it should be a no problem. When we start to put processed food in there, we're blocking that. And when we block that, like, your gut is your biome where you create neurotransmitters for, like, dopamine to be happy, serotonin. So we're then blocking that. So if you're incorporating good, healthy nutrition, you're going to keep the flow, and you're going to keep the production of, dopamine and serotonin and other neurotransmitters that help you have a better mental health. So it's like a vicious cycle, because you have to start with what you put in your mouth, and keeping it simple and keeping it as pure as you can is the best way to do that.
Yeah. In your time working as a nurse, the things that you saw that people were struggling with the most, do you think most of those were diet related things and them choosing not to, not meaning like going on a diet, but like what you're eating stuff that it could have been prevented if they would have chosen better nutrition?
I think probably about 90% of them would have been down that route, because like I said, it's a vicious cycle, because as the healthcare system in the US, we're a sick care system. We just want to keep people sick. We don't want them to get better, because there's no money in a cure. And so, but if we can educate people to make better choices, like, don't necessarily take things out, but find a better alternative. Like, for instance, like chocolate. I love chocolate. I love Reese's peanut butter cups. They are my favorite thing in the entire world. But I haven't had them in forever and a day. And then, now with my son, who's a breastfed baby and has a milk allergy, like, I had to find something else, which I did. I found sunflower peanut butter cups, which are no they're not too bad compared to Reese's, even though Reese's are my favorite. But it's teaching people to look at the back of the product to see what they're putting into it. So these people that had come in, with all these ailments, they were just putting in whatever they could readily get on their hands, because they were either not feeling mentally good, or their body was dehydrated. Dehydration, like, is one of the top leading causes of death. You have a stroke. You have a stroke because you don't have enough blood volume, and you need more blood volume by having more hydration, so that it's like a it's a continual cycle. Like, everything is just a circle, because it all starts with what you put into your body.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I mean, it's so simple. It really is so simple. Like, drink some more damn water. Like, it's so crazy. And just like you were talking about at the beginning, like, you wake up in the morning, you gotta go pee, you stumble downstairs, you get yourself a cup of coffee, which is just gonna further just make you more and more dehydrated. Like, where are you getting your water in at? It's so important to be conscious of this, because sometimes you'll get to the end. I do this often. You get busy, you're running around all day. You've maybe had like a half of like a little bottle of water, and you're like, I feel like shit at the end of the day because you haven't been drinking water all day long. you're tired. Like, dehydration really does do a massive disservice to you. And as women, we're always like trying to make our skin look great. Like, I got to take all this biotin and all this other crap, which there's all kinds of fillers and crap in biotin supplements. So be very cautious of that. But drink some more water. Nothing makes your skin look better than drinking more water.
Agreed. And I also found personally, like, get yourself a water bottle that either has a straw or a spout or whatever your preference is to carry with you all the time, because at least you're sipping throughout the day, which is a lot better than taking the cap off of a water bottle, drinking it, and then putting it back on. Because I found when I was in my transition of different water bottles, I would be drinking, like a Poland Spring water bottle, and I wouldn't drink nearly as much water as I normally do because it was such a pain in the butt to like uncap the stupid water, put it back on, and then put it like. I found personally that having just a regular water bottle with a straw or spout that you can just open like real quickly and always have with you is the easiest, most beneficial way to incorporate water into your day to day life. It's sad, but it's so simple.
It's so true, though. Like, I drink way more water when I have a straw.
Yes.
Way more. So does my son, too. He'll like fill it up in the water machine and then he goes and puts a straw in it. But if he doesn't put the straw in it, he'll drink like half of it and send it there. But if he puts the straw in it, they'll suck the whole thing down. So I think that's very good advice. Very, very good advice. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that we see, hot topic. If you scroll and accidentally for nanoseconds stop on something that says weight loss right now for women, all these freaking ads are popping up that's talking about all these like this magical medical shot you give yourself, and it's just going to melt away everything. No diet, no exercise, no, you can just keep eating whatever crap you want to do there, which obviously it's like the funny little things that you see on Facebook, like they just chewed up gummies and their fat just fell off. Like, do people actually believe this stuff? Talk to me about what your knowledge is with this miracle weight loss thing. And what my biggest thing that I always think about with this is, like, what is this doing to your health long term? Like, I think people are very short sighted when it comes to weight loss. And they're like, well, if I just do this, then I'm going to be great. But many times you see it come right back because they didn't change the old habits that got them there in the first place. So, talk to me about your experience with this stuff or what your thoughts are on it.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you're referencing semaglutide, which is the injectable weight loss prescription that was originally created for type 2 diabetics. The reason why it was created for them was because a majority of type 2 diabetics got it from being obese, and they are having a very difficult time, even though incorporating different dietary and lifestyle modifications to take the weight off. So, yes, this medication does promote weight loss. However, it's not something that should be like you need to be under medical supervision for a very long time because of the aftermath that it can have on your thyroid and your pancreas and other ailments within your body. It's not a long-term use drug. It's something that, yes, you take, like I said, it was created for type 2 diabetics because they're severely obese, and the obesity is having a toll on their thyroid. So their thyroid and their insulin production are not near where they need to be to have them work properly. So bringing their body to a level where their body can then work the way it's supposed to is the main goal. When people use it, and I don't want to say for recreational weight loss, the rebound weight gain is like double the effect. Like say you lose 10 pounds and then you stop getting weekly injections. If you haven't, like you said earlier, if you haven't changed your behavior and your relationship with the food and what you put into your body, and the mental stress and the sleep management and the stress management, you're going to put on 20 to 30 pounds back on. So that 10 pounds is going to be fantastic for a short period of time, but until you address the whole issue of why you put on that weight and how you're going to take it off, you're going to put weight on more so. And I always try to explain to people, like, you didn't put on an extra 50 pounds overnight. That was years and years and years of poor choices, or, stress that went on, or anything like that. And that's what people need to address. It should be a journey and not just a quick fix.
Yes. Oh, thank you for clarifying that because, man, some of those ads, I'm like, they're going to get so many people in trouble with this because it does look like, oh shit, I got to get my hands on some of that. And it's quite inexpensive too. I noticed that I went to the grocery store yesterday and when I pulled in, there's like a chiropractor's office that has one of those signs out there that you can go into this chiropractor's office and get that semi-glutide or whatever it's called. And I was like, yeah, like now it's a big thing with chiropractic offices, like places I've noticed online too that used to put together like diet plans for people. That's all they're pushing is that stuff now. Like, get it without a physician's prescription, get it through us. And I'm like, sure that you should be taking that without someone checking you out first. I don't think that's the intention. So, thank you so much for clarifying that. And another thing too, I think I really truly believe that with women, I'd love to get your take on what overall healthy habits look like. Because when we say as women, we want to focus on our health, many times women say, yeah, shit, I need to lose 15 pounds. But it's not just about, yes, if you're overweight, I work on this all the time. I've always been that. Go up, come back down. Go up, come back down. I have to be, but I'm not blaming that on anything but myself. I get stressed. I don't eat, then it's a whole thing. I'm working on that myself too. My husband has been a great inspiration for me to really like stop, focus, take time for yourself, which I think a lot of women have a hard time doing. We talk about self-care, we talk about all this stuff. Women are like never put themselves on their to-do list because they've got a kid and a husband and a business and friends and everybody else is more important than they are. So when we talk about focusing on health, I think a lot of times we just go to, oh, I got to lose weight. But what are the important things that we really need to be thinking about if we want to go on a journey of better health?
I think, like, my biggest thing is hydration. I think if we, like you said, water is the best remedy for your skin. Water keeps your body working the way that it's supposed to. If we can change our mindset to be incorporating good for you foods, not saying like, oh, stop eating chips, like, but get different chips. Get like kale chips. Like, I make kale chips at home and my kids love them and they ask for them. Like, what kid does that? Mine do. But it's changing our thinking of, when we want to be healthy, we feel that we have to stop doing something. Instead of putting in more good things, we feel like we have to deprive ourselves. When we deprive ourselves or tell ourselves, or be told that we can't do something, we want to do it that much more. And even if we don't even want it, we just want to do it because somebody told me I couldn't do it. So I think that by being healthy in focusing on our own health as women, we need to just simplify things by putting in healthier options into our diet and maintaining the highest level of hydration possible.
Awesome. Those are very, very good things. And even just to touch a little bit, had a podcast recording yesterday and we were talking about how important it is for focus and what this high performance mindset that a lot of us want to have as entrepreneurs and how important that is between nutrition and exercise. And I think with women, a lot of times we're like, well, we didn't make it to the gym today, so we can't do anything. I'm like, I will get up after this podcast and just go take a walk around the block because it's going to help me come back down, get my mind off the screen for a minute. Just let me think about what we just talked about, how I can move forward with processing the podcast, doing all this stuff. I get my best ideas when you just like take a lap around the block. So really incorporating little things like that. You don't have to hit it hard like the crazy Lulu lady at the gym that you see every day. You don't have to. I mean, great if you wanna look like her, you got to do that. But even that mind body connection of just moving your body is so important because many times we get stuck here and we will just sit at this desk for 12 hours and then be like, why do I feel like crap? Well, you haven't drank any water today and you haven't moved. So I know that This is going to be so helpful for so many women. I want to thank you so much for your time today and all of the good wisdom that you gave us today, especially on hydration, all of the information about nutrition, how to really set the tone and be a role model to your kids and your family. I know that you have a event or a boot camp jumpstart little tiny thing that you're going to be running here. Why don't you tell us what that's all about and how people can find you if they're interested in developing some healthy habits?
Yes, so thank you. So I'm actually it's going to start next week, next Friday. I think that's October 15th. October 15th is the day. I think it's next Friday. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but so it's going to be a 7 day jumpstart to a healthy journey where we will meet through Facebook every day, and we'll have a community to support one another, and just incorporating 7 healthy habits to jumpstart their healthy habit lifestyle.
Very nice. Very nice. So next Friday is Friday the 13th, which
Oh, so that's probably what it was.
super awesome because it's October.
Yes.
So this podcast will definitely go out next week so we can make sure that we promote your healthy habits event on Facebook. It's free, guys. Like jump on and take a listen to it. If you can, she's going to give you 7 of them. If you incorporate half of those, you're well on your way to living more healthy. And I think it's so important, and this is why I love podcasts. One, health is so much a mental game. And I think a lot of times we say, oh, I got a bum knee, or I don't have time, or I don't have this. You literally have a mind where you can put yourself on a scale, on a calendar or a schedule, and you can make time for the things that are important to you. And so we have to, as women, stop thinking that we don't have time for ourselves. Because if you don't take care of yourself, how the hell are you supposed to take care of all of this other stuff that you have booked your calendars with? So I know we talk about that a lot on the podcast here. I'm very, very passionate about that. It is not selfish to take care of yourself. It's very selfless to do that because there's other people that are counting on you. And if you're a mom and you're an entrepreneur and you're a business owner, a lot of people are relying on you to take care of yourself. So it's something that you must do for everyone else. If you got to put that in your mindset, think of it that way. Because sometimes we have a hard time just bracing it that it's only impacting us. It's not just only impacting us when we take care of ourselves, it's impacting everyone around there. So thank you so much, Katie. This has been so wonderful. At the end of every podcast, I always ask everybody this question because it is the title of a book that I am writing right now. And I really want to highlight everyday women that are out there kicking ass, being superheroes, doing the things to help make a difference in this world without, 90 million Facebook or Instagram people following you around. I really think it's the everyday mom that makes the world go round and makes it a better place. And so I would really love to know from you, when you hear the phrase ladies kicking ass, what does that mean to you in your life?
So I think it just means that we don't ever give up, and we just are going to take whatever we have thrown at us, and we're just going to take it with a grain of salt and just keep more moving forward and hoping that we can shed light and love and kindness throughout it.
Yes. Kindness. The world needs more kindness. If everybody would be kinder to each other, we would be kinder to ourselves. I really, truly believe that. So thank you for mentioning that. Thank you so much, Katie. Have a wonderful weekend, and I can't wait to spread the message about more healthy habits with the Ladies Kickin' Ass community.
Thank you.
Thanks for being part of the Ladies Kickin' Ass community. Cheers to all you badass women out there. Keep rocking your power, igniting your fire, and making waves in the service industry. If you loved today's episode, please do me a quick favor. Take a screenshot, post it, and tag us at Ladies Kickin' Ass. Be sure to include the link to your favorite episode. Your support in spreading the word means the world to us as we aim to empower even more women. Hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more kick-ass episodes. And don't forget, a 5-star review is the ultimate high five. Connect with us on social media. All the links are in the show notes. Thank you for being part of our tribe. Now go kick some serious ass, lady. Hey there, ladies. Want to supercharge your personal growth journey with insights from the best in the business? I've got a treat for you. I have been raving throughout many of these podcasts about this incredible self development app called Growth Day. Imagine learning from industry powerhouses like Mel Robbins, Ed Milet, my girl Lori Harder, Brendan Burchard, Mel Abraham, Lisa Bilyeu. Oh my gosh, there's so many more. And guess what? Every Wednesday, they teach live that you can watch them and interact with them through this app. It's so incredibly cool. Beyond their wisdom and live coaching sessions, there is another incredible feature that I'm obsessed with, though: the journal section. I use it every single day, whether it's either to brain dump, reflect on my feelings, remember things for my business, or dive deep with their brilliant journal prompts. I'm never at a loss for words when I sit down to journal. How freaking amazing is that? And because you're part of our podcast family, there's a special treat awaiting you. Click the link in the show notes below to check it all out. Embark on an incredible journey with Growth Day. Remember, every new day is an opportunity to grow, reflect, and evolve. And that is what we do as ladies who are kicking ass.